Well, I heard something interesting. I heard Jabba finally threw in the towel with his Bel Air. It's about time for his own good. He's not getting anywhere with it, you know. And he offered up a whole plethora of excuses. Well, old cars, everything goes, yeah, old cars, a lot of things go wrong. Hey, Jabba, I know you're watching. Like I've said, you are your own worst enemy. You don't realize how limited you are in your ability. But you set up these grand delusional expectations in your head of what you were going to do. I think it's safe to say I know a little more than you. And I wouldn't want to pick up an old four-door Chevy, Ford, Plymouth, Dodge, anything that needed as much work as that car needed, and want to invest my time that would be valuable because I would have knowledge on what I would be doing, and I'd be able to do it physically and knowledge-wise, and the money that would need to be invested in it. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Most car guys wouldn't. Oh yeah, you hear about restorations. This 57 Chevy thing, that's an icon in automotive history. You say 57 Chevy and everyone knows what it is. It's iconic. It's a true classic. But not all of them. There's two 57s sitting there. They both need a lot of work. Even in pristine condition, a four-door 57 will bring about 50 to 60% of what a two-door will. A convertible will top even a two-door hardtop. That's how it is in the car world. I guess you don't know about these things. In your mind, a 57 Chevy, well, yeah, a four-door is not very desirable. Anyone looking for a 57 to restore that has all the mechanical ability and know-how and knowledge to do the work themselves and be able to afford the parts necessary and the equipment necessary, body work, interior work, new seats, new headliner. I know you couldn't get to that. I heard you put door panels in it that looked like a third grader made them out of paper mache, or their mother's curtains. And rebuild an engine, drivetrain. That's very important. What's the point of having a car that's fully restored and it don't fucking run? You can't drive it. That car will never run. You fucked that thing up good. I think you knew it. Like I mentioned in my previous video, the last time you tried to start it, it made a loud bang. That fucking engine locked up. You threw a fucking rod. You fucked something up in there big time. That's why you never tried starting it again. It won't turn over. That engine's locked up. And you know it. Don't blame points. Don't blame condenser. Don't blame spark plugs. Don't blame oil. Leaks oil like a sieve. Don't blame all of that. Blame the fact that you did not know what you were doing when you rebuilt that engine. From day one. What do you do? Watch YouTube videos? Some guy installing a timing chain? Did you know on some of them, you line up the... I'm not even talking about getting really technical where you get a degree at CAM and things like that. I'm talking just the stock setup. Did you even know how to set that up right? A lot of people mention your timing is way off. Possibly 180. Did you ever pull the distributor and try turning the fucking thing around and dropping it back in because you put the timing chain in wrong? It's when you think you're on your compression. I won't even get into all of that. I don't want to take too much time today. So now you've officially given up on it. You need a break. You're making a lot of excuses. There are some things worth investing time and money in. These days things are being cloned. It's real easy to turn a Plymouth Satellite into a Roadrunner or a GTX. Real easy. It's real easy. They've been doing it for years with the Z28, especially, second generation, 70 through... I even go as far as, 74, when they stopped making the Z28 in 1975 and 1976. They came back in 1977 because they started Trans Am was really taking off in 1977 due to Smokey and the Bandit, So they wanted to get some skin back in the game. How many Camaros are running around you see at shows, Z28, Z28. You know how many of them are base Camaros? Those are the easiest cars to clone. Just put a couple stripes on them, put some badges on them, black out the grill, put a spoiler on the back, put some rally wheels on them. But if you look at a lot of these, you look inside, see, wait a minute. The dash, no tack, no gauges. Take a peek under the rear end, no sway bar. It ain't no Z28. How many of them even have a Porsche rear end? But they look good. To me, personally, I don't care. You got a car like that, even a base 350, 250 horse in it, 2-bar, stick a Edelbrock aluminum intake, a Harley 650, something pretty mild. The engine will be able to suck in what it's able to give it. It's all it needs, no more. Some headers, it sounds good, dual exhaust, thrush mufflers, nice wheels. Okay, so now you're making 275 horse. Isn't that all you really need? Put a little bit of gear in the back. That's all you really need. How many guys are going to tracks and racing cars? How many guys are street racing? It's mainly for looks these days. Looks and sound. I think that's all you really need. And a clone don't really matter. You know what I mean? To me, anyway. I don't give a fuck about matching number. But you made a big deal about us. You put that car in the market. What are you going to get for it? Not much. You won't even get many people interested in it. Because that car needs way too much work. Mechanically, aesthetically, body-wise, body work, interior work. I think it'll cost a fortune just in what it would take to get it to look presentable. Just to get it to run and idle and be able to drive it around a fucking block. No one's going to touch that car with a 10-foot pole. You're stuck with it. Just because it's 57 Chevy don't mean it's something that's priceless. That's desirable, everyone wants. Like I said, Z28s, they're easily cloned. And you can sell them for a decent amount of money. I'm not a Mopar guy, but you know how many Roadrunners and GTXs are running around that are fucking satellites? They're easy to clone too. Does it matter to me? No, it don't matter. Hey, it looks like a Roadrunner, it looks like a GTX. So what if it started out as a satellite? Yeah, you can easily do that with a 2-door. Now try that with a 4-door satellite. Try doing that with a 4-door satellite. No one would even care or want to invest their time and money into trying to transform a 4-door satellite into a Roadrunner or a GTX. That would be a laughingstock. They wouldn't want to touch it. This classic car market is very limited. And just because something's called a classic doesn't mean it pertains to every model of that make, model in that year. 4 doors don't bring a price. They don't. Oh, you'll find someone that'll want some old guy in his 70s. Oh, I remember my mother, my grandmother had one of these. Oh yeah, and they wanted it as a tribute car or something. And even then, roll a pristine 4-door 57 across an auction block at Barrett Jackson or Mecum. See what it brings in. And I'm talking pristine, mechanically sound, professionally done, inside, outside, mechanical, complete drivetrain. Body's laser straight. You know what I mean? I'll roll a 2-door across the auction block, see what it brings. It'll bring double. And there won't be many bids on a 4-door. That goes for every other model. The Chevelle. You can take how many regular Malibus were transformed into SSs? How many Novas were transformed into SSs? These clones, now they're calling them tribute cars. Same thing, different terminology, People today, they won't invest any time or money in anything that's a 4-door that's desirable in a 2-door model. That's where the money is. That's where the attraction is. That's where people would want to own it. If I came across something like that, you can pick up a Camaro, Nova, Chevelle. It's a clone, but it has a real good, solid, decent V8 engine in it. Good rear end, good transmission. It looks great, it runs great, it sounds real nice. It's got more than enough power to punch the pedal and, leave a burnout, when the light turns green. You can have a lot of fun with it. It'll be dependable, reliable. You can drive it around, You can find these for, 25, 30 grand. All day. Don't go by Marketplace. People ask crazy money for shit on you. I saw a fucking GTO Judge. Supposedly a 69 GTO Judge. This thing was a total fucking basket case. It was in pieces. It had no engine. Had no drivetrain. It was a unibody shell sitting on the fucking ground. The front nose was in pieces laying next to it. Didn't even have a trunk lid. It said, needs a little here, it needs a little. It needed everything. He's asking 35 grand for it. It would take a good 50, 60 grand to get that thing just to be presentable, roadworthy, drivable, and look halfway decent. Now you're into that car for 95 grand. Yeah, you could get that at auction, but you're not going to make any money. You'd be lucky to break even. The car world is a funny thing, Java. Guys that know about cars, you know what to look for. You know that if you want to do something with any classic car, you got to use your head, and you got to know what you're getting into. Some guys will be willing. The guys that have the ability themselves, they don't have to pay outside labor. They don't have to pay a guy to put their engine together. They don't have to pay a guy to do their body work. They don't have to pay a guy to do all their interior work. They are capable of doing it themselves. And yeah, it can be a lengthy process. There's one guy here, he had a 69 Nova, and it was a real original SS with a 396. And it was kind of rough when he bought it. He owned his own auto body shop, and Mike Sharris. He's still around these days. I was friendly with him for a while, but we had a little difference of opinion at one time. No hate, nothing, but we kind of drifted apart. That's how it is with friends sometimes. But no hard feelings, no bad mouthing on either side. And he got this car, and it took him 5 years. On his off time, did all the work himself. He rebuilt the engine, paid for the parts, paid for everything out of his pocket, did all the work. But in 5 years' time, this car was fucking gorgeous. This car was gorgeous, and it ran well. Didn't run a 10-second quarter mile, but who the fuck cares about this shit? These guys on here, they're all, I'm going to run a quicker time than you. Oh, you're making 600 horsepower? I'm going to make 700. You're going to use all that horsepower. I'm seeing shit on, I saw something come up on fucking, Google the other day. They have, items, news item things. Some guy's got a fucking Pontiac with 4 blowers stacked on top of it. Why? That wouldn't be legal roadworthy. That's not a show car. That wouldn't be allowed on a lot of streets for safety reasons. You can't see anything, you're behind the wheel of that thing. You can't see nothing. It's not safe, you know what I mean? Car's not registered. This thing will never be driven around. What kind of horsepower is he making? Is he going to race that thing? That thing will never see a fucking track. He's probably too afraid. Might get a scratch on. He's got too much money invested in it. A car like that to me is fucking worthless. I wouldn't want it. For what? I want a car to enjoy. I got rid of my little red chipbox a little while back because I wasn't enjoying it. I don't need that type of car anymore. It doesn't fit our lifestyle here. I've had my fill of that shit with 3 cars, 4. If I include one, that my first car, I had it on the road after having it a year. Bought it when I was 15. 69 DC 302 Z28. 2 days on the road, I got my license. My friend's mother was a fucking drunk coming home from work. She plowed into it with her big ass 1969 Buick Electra 225, totaled it out. So much for that, So 4, if I include a car I never had any fun with, but I had fun with the others, and I've had my enjoyment with every car since. Throughout the course of my life, it's fit into my life. What fits into your life, Jabba? Huh? What fits into your life? What would you do with that car? I hope things work out with it. If you decide to sell it, which you probably should, somebody said, oh, he said I'll never sell it. It's the only chance he'll have at a 57. Well, I'll tell you what, if you sell that thing, you're not losing much. You're not losing anything of any real value, and you should be lucky to take what you can get for it, if you get any offers at all. This is called constructive criticism. I tried this in the past with you. You turned into a ranting, raving, lunatic asshole with all your name called and all your bullshit, and hey, you want to fuck with me, pal. Fucking with the wrong person. Maybe you should listen. Maybe you should listen to people that have given you a lot of good advice that you refuse to listen to. You got that thing stuck in your head, 57 Chevy, 57 Chevy, it makes me important. Let me tell you something, pal. If you feel a car makes you important, you got a lot to learn about life. You got a lot to learn about life, and that just displays how low self-esteem you have. How you have no fucking self-respect. If your only sense of value and worth is in that 4-door piece of shit sitting in your fucking driveway, you got a lot to learn. And the same goes for you motherfuckers on here begging for subs and views and need to announce, so I got to get to this. They're calling it milestones. Like I mentioned recently. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should put that on your gravestone, You could impress people when they walk into the cemetery. Here lies a man that got, 23,000 or 10,000 subs on his YouTube channel. Oh yeah, that's a nice legacy to leave behind for your family. I'll bet they'll be real proud of you for that, right? Your major accomplishment in life. Things, and I know I'm not alone. The things to value in life that should mean the most to you. I know they mean the most to me. It's family and friends. Nothing with wheels or an engine.